So we're back on another section of the project, getting the air compressor set up, doing the foundation right now. I got my old rubber pucks here with the metal plate. These were notched, so basically we're going to drill out our 1/2 inch hole. I got this little M12 drill with the hammer drill function. We'll see if that has enough mustard to get through this. Got the shop vac set up so we can pull the dust and debris out. Got our 1/2 inch, I think these are 6.5 inch long, 7 inch long anchors. So we'll go through, hammer those in, tighten them up. That'll be it for mounting the feet. And then we got our 220 30 amp plug right behind it. And then I'll work on over here plumbing and setting our air setup up and then our electrical into the switch here. I got a section of wire on order, so we're just waiting on that to come in, but we'll get this thing, go ahead and mount it. Let's do it. Alright, so while we wait for the electrical cord and plug setup for this, we're going to move on to working on mounting the wall cabinets up here across the back wall. So that's the next thing we want to get done. We basically got a kind of an assortment of sizes here, so I'm trying to pair them up for what I think would look best. So we got these 30-inch cabinets with the 2 doors, and we got the smaller single door cabinets. So basically 2 each of those. Plan is to kind of set them up like this. I drew it out with some measurements. These actually I think I'm going to flip though. So I'm going to mount them 24 inches off the worktop here. So 24 inches high in the back wall. We're going to flip these. So single door cabinet over here, 30. So it'll kind of be like staggered down. We're going to leave a gap here in the center for TV, nothing crazy, wall-mounted TV, speaker on either side. These studio monitors I have, I'm going to set those up in here, and then basically mimicked on the other side, but these will be opposite. Then I think what I'm going to do also is, since this will be open here, I'm going to put like a shelf across the top to, you know, display some cool things and some additional storage, so that'll be useful. So I'll measure, get set up for a width here, top of the cabinets. I think these are like 16 wide, so we'll do like a shelf going across, paint it black so it matches and everything, so that'll look pretty cool. So let's go ahead and get started. This house is concrete block construction, but also interior walls have metal studs, so not 2x4s, which makes it a little more challenging. I feel like 2x4s are definitely easier and stronger when you're drilling in and hanging stuff on the wall. So hoping the stud finder we got here is going to pick this up. We'll be able to mark either edge and then find the center of that. And the cabinets are pre-drilled on the back with 16 on center holes, so that will also make it pretty easy to hang these up. So we got some hardware. These are like flathead or non-panhead, or panhead I think is the correct term. It's not countersunk, so the ends are flat. These also have like a fender washer, or not a fender washer, but a flanged head on them. And then I did get fender washers to basically back up going into the cabinet, so they got a nice larger surface area for pulling these tight. It should be a good length to go through the cabinet, through the drywall, then into the metal stud. So hopefully these will hang nice and strong. Put 4 in each cabinet going across this back wall here. The last final cabinet is lower one there. That one I'm going to put on the wall back there with my pressure washer set up, so that'll have all the car detailing stuff. So that one will mount in the future once we get this side of the garage cleaned up and organized. But getting these cabinets up is kind of the next step to getting a lot of these totes and bins and parts organizers emptied out, so that stuff can all go in these cabinets. So let's get going. All right, we got our first two cabinets hung up. Came out pretty good. I made that little jig over there to hold it up since I'm doing this by myself. Then we basically found where the studs were, kind of lined ourselves up and drilled a pilot hole through the steel, and then did the screw through the drywall into the metal stud. I only missed one of them. I had to come over a little bit, but that came out good. So I slid this workbench down a little further. There is about a 5/8 height difference between this mat. This comes up a little bit, so I had to shave 5/8 off my jig. And then we're going to put the small cabinet up here next to the water heater, bigger cabinet next to it, and then we could slide the table back, put everything back, and then we'll get set up. And that should leave us a nice little gap there in the center for a wall mount TV and some speakers. So I think that'll look pretty good. Maybe we'll do some pegboard stuff below here. I think that'd be pretty cool. So I think this came out all right so far. Let's dive into the next two cabinets. All right, we're back with another little update. Started working on putting stuff away in the cabinets. That's a slow process, going through all these bins and totes and everything, sorting through stuff where I want to put it. So we're working through that right now. We actually found our studio monitors in one of the boxes inside, so I got those set up. I think I'm going to actually mount them under the cabinets or possibly on top, either side. So we'll worry about a stereo setup later, but the project I'm going to work on right now is a shelf between those two cabinets, so the TV is going to be wall mounted between there, speakers left and right, and then I'm just going to put a small shelf for like light stuff across the top, maybe some of my display parts or whatever. So I got some little angle brackets, and I got a piece of 2x6, so I'm going to put two of those across there with the L brackets, and then I'm going to paint it black to match. I got this hammered paint and primer, so it should kind of match the finish that's on these cabinets. This is kind of like a hammered texture in a way, so I'll be curious to see how that comes out painting that with wood, and we'll paint the brackets, so everything should look pretty cool. So let's get started on that one. We did get the compressor finished up. So we got the wire, we got the plug in the back, we got the concrete anchor set, we got our valves and our regulators and everything, air hoses hung up here temporarily until we probably do some hose reels or some plumbing up through, maybe, you know, hose reel in the back and a hose reel up here. We'll see what comes of the air compressor project, but right now I think we're ready for a little cold start on the air compressor. She's been sitting for a couple years, so let's see if she starts up. Flip the pressure switch. Hey guys, little progress update for you here. So let's go ahead and flip you around, show you what we got going on. Alright, so we got the workstation not finished up, but we got some progress done yesterday. Got the TV mounted up. Got this another shelf built for the studio monitors. Got the little mixer down here. Got to do something to clean up the wiring, but that's okay for now. So I want to get a piece of plywood to put across the toolbox to kind of match with the butcher block top, so that'll kind of just go like straight across, be nice and even. Got a bunch of junk still left on there, but we're working on getting that cleaned up. And I was trying to straighten this cabinet out. I think when the guy sold it to me, didn't quite mention that it's smashed up. I picked it up at night, so I didn't even see that. Probably fell off his moving truck or something. So I was trying to straighten this cabinet out. I don't know if I'm going to keep this one because I wanted to keep the area under the bench here free, so I could put my stool or chair up there, laptop, kind of use this as a little desk workstation if this cabinet's here basically like comes out flush with the thing, so you can't really like sit with your knees here. So I might end up just getting rid of this cabinet, or I'll move it over, put a little workbench top, we'll put it where the rack stereo is, because eventually I think that stereo stuff's probably just going to move into the house, so we just don't have space for it out here. And we've already got the monitors mounted up there. Should be plenty of tunes for this kind of smaller space. And then flipping around this way, we got the lift posts up yesterday, so that was a pretty big accomplishment. I think we got them finalized where we're going to keep it. So I did a distance measurement from the front of the slab there back to here. We're set at like 9.5 feet right now. I had some old pictures of my first garage that had like the race deck floor and all that, and that was where we had this one set up, and there was plenty of room behind the vet, like maybe a foot or two, so no issues with the door closing. If you had to walk around the car, get to the back of the car, that was fine. So I think this is going to work here. What I'm going to do is put the lift arms on, and I could run the cables, do the hydraulic lines, do everything like that before I bolt it down, just to make sure this is where its home's going to be, and then bring the car in and kind of center everything up and make sure it's going to work. If I want, I could move the lift a little more forward, or we still have some room here to come back, so you can see the end of the garage door. We could easily come back like 2 more feet, but I think that's going to be too far back over here. So we will get this stuff in the corner over here kind of dressed on the lift, and then do a test fit with the vet, bring it in, and we'll see where we're at with that. So let's do it.